Unai, you said this would be the biggest test of the season so far. How do you think your team managed it out there?
Good evening. More or less the expectation I had before the match in 90 minutes happened. The result 2-1 or 3-1, more or less, maybe is not a lot of difference between 2-1 or 3-1, because the opportunity we will play at home next week still being a huge challenge for us. But we can feel strong at home with our supporters in Villa Park, and the match we played today, more or less we needed to a lot of them defensively be strong, very serious match defensively, disciplined defensively, defending well, low, more than normal. But even when we were losing 2-1, we had three approach in their box. One shoot of two shoot of Morgan Rogers and one of Marco Asensio. More or less, we are waiting our momentum in that moment to be close in the result. The last goal we conceded, okay, we had to accept it, but and in our mind it's not changing a lot, because we have to win at home now. We have to win, and more than one goal, the difference.
And you did score a goal here tonight. How crucial could Morgan Rogers' goal be going into the second leg?
Yeah, the first half we had 3 or 4 chances to get their box, not chances to score only one, and maybe another one with Rashford. And we knew before the match we needed to be clinical as well, and we scored 1 goal. We were clinical the first half, the second half not. But the match is the first leg, and the first leg, of course, the result is not good for us, but I think could be one possibility as well at home to try to get our momentum, to use our power as well, and try to show our power, maybe, hopefully a little different than here, trying to get some more protagonists as well with the ball.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how different do you expect the game to be at Villa Park in front of your fans as well?
Still being a team, they like to play doing passes, keep people possession, trying to dominate, but today we were more in medium block and low block defending, and at home maybe we can change. Hopefully we can get some or more moment than today to keep our momentum and to keep people possession and trying to dominate. But the match we play here, we are going to stand the next week, and we are going to try to get our opportunities as well in this way to combat the result. And we believe in our supporters, we believe in Villa Park, we believe the players can get their best performances next week.
Thanks, Unai.
Thank you.
There, I could see from your celebration how important that third goal felt. Could it be the difference?
Well, I have to say that we expected in the right way, trying to control the game, trying to control the chance, and we did it great, but they scored that goal that feel a little bit inconsistent in our confidence. It was difficult to accept that, but I think we deserve to win that match, and scoring the last minute, it was great for us, for our confidence, and we have to think about the second match of the leg, and it's going to be difficult, for sure.
What about the other 2 goals, Due and Kvaratskhelia? I mean, wow, was it always going to take something special to beat Emi Martinez?
I have to say that for us it's important to believe in ourselves, and I think the 3 goals were great, a lot of quality, and we are very happy with that result. It's going to be difficult, we know it, but we are going to try to play the same way there, because it's our DNA, and I think it's important to think about trying to win all the matches.
Your team are so fun to watch. How are they able to play with so much freedom?
Well, they are all of them quality players with a lot of ambition. We try to make history in Paris, and that means to try to win, try to fight every single match. We have, as an example, our supporters. They are great every single match, and we try to to feel in the same way, trying to be ambitious, and today it's a very nice day for us.
Good luck next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
To be totally honest, because I think right now if you offered Aston Villa a 2-1 loss, they would have taken that and moved on to the second round.
You absolutely would have taken it, and it's something we were talking about even off air pre-match as well, but it is that third goal that made all the difference, and you could see it in Luis Enrique's celebrations as well. He knows that he's got 1 foot potentially in that semi-final.
Yeah, of course. Look, I think going to Villa Park might be slightly different in terms of the crowd getting behind Aston Villa, but it's one of those, if you open up too much against this sort of team, they will absolutely punish you.
I think the big problem that Aston Villa have got now is that they're going to go to Villa Park and their fans, rightly so, are going to get behind that team and they're going to push them on and they're going to expect them to be on the front foot. Against this team going on the front foot, the spaces open up. We saw the last goal there, a little space, a little glimmer of a space to play through. They get it through, and that's not even one of their wingers. That's the left back producing moments like that. This team is a real tough proposition now for this Villa team. It's not over by any means. Like I said, they've got players who can hurt this PSG team, and they've got a manager who knows his way around Europe and winning trophies. But this is a different PSG team that we've ever seen in this competition.
Yeah, the mental fragility that we've seen in PSG year on year, even with those superstars, but this is the year where it looks slightly different, doesn't it? Well, don't forget, there is more European as well with Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, they did, but I think that was the game plan from Unai Emery, just to sit back, absorb a lot of the pressure. But the big thing is you have to be a threat, you have to have quality, and that's exactly what they had through John McGinn being aggressive in a press, but just being cool, calm and collected at the right moment in time. You see here, he's got one thought in his mind, can I go and win the ball? But not that. He's now got his head up, he's looking at options. Rashford, I feel, he held that position relatively well at times, but Tielemans, good ball into him, and he's just got the presence of mind to lift his head, play it to the back post, and this is where you want Morgan Rogers, your other winger, getting in at the back post to finish it off, and it's an easy tap-in for him. But of course it was against the run of play. You're going to expect that playing here, but if you've got quality and you've got a threat with pace, you can score a goal.
And that's exactly what they did, and it looked good in that moment. But just a few moments later, it was Desiree Doué. I mean, what a player! You know, when you see someone so young, so fresh, he's here. He's not playing under any pressure. He's just looking forward to making his mark on the big stage.
Yeah, well, you always want a moment, and all young players, especially, they dream about a moment. Can I create a moment that everyone goes, wow, and I can announce myself? Here, there's a bit of space for him to get his head up. Then he's dictating this situation. He's owning where he's going to go. I'm going to come inside. You can't stop me, and I'm going to pick out the top corner. It was a phenomenal strike, and again, this crowd, every time he got the ball, even in the early parts of the game, it wasn't coming off for him a couple of times. You could sense there was an expectation with the crowd as to he can produce something, and by God, did he produce something today.
I just feel with the front three, they play with absolute freedom, and to be 19 years of age and play like that, I mean, it's scary for defenders. I feel for Morgan Rogers a little bit. Can he get out a little bit tighter? Look, he's an attacking player himself, ultimately as well. Can he play him down the line? Because that's what a fullback would try and do. Unfortunately, he gives him a yard, and that's all he needs.
Yeah, that is all he needs. And look, it was 1-1 at half-time. You knew that PSG would have a little bit more going into the second half. I suppose maybe you didn't expect it to come as quickly as it did, but when you've got a player like Kvaratskhelia and the skill that he has, the way he made this goal his own, Rio.
Yeah, and I think Ruiz's part in this goal, this ball here, don't underestimate how that good that's in the front of him, that's making him run onto things, and now again he's owning this situation. The roll was just nasty. He almost other than laying him out on the floor, he just takes him and eliminates him beautifully. But it's the silkiness with which he does. I said this is Waddle reincarnated, and it's a wonderful finish on the left foot. This is probably the only place he scores this goal.
As a defender, that's what you dread. 1v1. Running back into your box, I think he's too square.
Yeah.
Like it needs to show him down the line. As soon as you square up against somebody who's got that they can manoeuvre the ball that quickly, get it off to the side, and then we're finished like that. It's unstoppable.
He made Disasi look like a centre back playing out of position at right back, and that's what he made him look like there. And I think the first 10 minutes, I looked at Disasi and was thinking, if he could ask to come off right now, he wouldn't be far off doing it, because it's so difficult. They were flying down that side consistently all the time and making it really difficult for him.
And this is the thing with PSG, because you think it's always going to be the front men, but it's the wide men as well. And in the case of Nuno Mendes, it's your left back who kept Mo Salah quiet for the over. Like this, let's take a look at it.
Oh, well, I said in comms, I think he's producing the best left back in the world form at the moment. In defensively, shutting down the Premier League's most potent striker, and then here today, sealing this tie for me with a wonderful bit of disguise there on his left foot that you expect him, a left-footed player, to go on just strike in those areas, but the speed of thought and the guile whips it in the top corner.
Just pure composure from a full-back that's playing at the top level in the top of his game. I mean, the pace that he showed defensively, but not that, even in the early parts of the game, he was actually getting way forward and causing Villa a problem and allowing Kvaratskhelia to stay out wide. So, I mean, he thinks like an attacking full-back, but defensively, wow, he's just so strong as well.
But he's happy to go 1v1. That's what I loved about him when I watched him against Liverpool with Mo Salah. He wasn't going, no, I'll let someone come over, and we were saying sometimes you need to make it 2v1 to cover yourself, because sometimes the opposing player may be a bit quick thinker as well. He's saying, no, leave me 1v1 and I'll take that responsibility, and I'm happy to go man to man, and I'm going to come out of the winner most of the time. But also, like Alan said, I'm also a threat going the other way. Can you follow me?
Yeah.
So it's great to have players like that. And I think Luis Enrique must be delighted with all the individuals, but the defenders want to be defenders in this team as well.
It's the audacity of how they defend and attack, isn't it, really? But do you think that defensive change made a big difference in the dynamics in that second half? Disasi coming on, Cash coming off. Do you think that exposed them in a way that they didn't want to be?
Yeah, well, look, I said at half-time that I was a little bit fearful about Matty Cash because he had been booked very early on, and when you're up against top quality opposition that can hurt you, they're going to run at you 1v1 along to as much as they can. So I get why Unai Emery made the decision to change. Me personally, I don't like Disasi out there. I think it is like a centre-half playing at full-back, so it's not for me. And again, we've seen that when you get twisted and turned up, it can be very difficult. So I understand why he done it, but I just don't think it was ideal.
You look at them stats there, the authority that this Paris Saint-Germain team play with. We've seen them down the years have moments and players that can produce brilliant moments. They still have that, right? But maybe not with Galacticos, but players that can define games with moments. But it's the authority of like the Vitinhas in midfield, the Ruiz who control and dictate the tempo of this game, and really just make sure the opposing team stay back. You can't come out, and we're just going to start probing and probe. And what that does to the defenders or all the Villa players on the pitch, the legs, it saps the energy out of this team, and the inability then to be a threat the other way because of the tiredness, mentally and physically, having to defend all those, shuffle across the pitch one way, go up 5 yards, drop the other.
And you don't know where it's coming from either.
Yeah, it's
Rio, I think the turnaround's been incredible. You think it was as if at one stage they tried to get the Galacticos in to kind of buy it or try to buy it. It didn't work, and the transformation that's happened so quickly for a young, hungry side, with the enthusiasm to go out and just work hard, be determined, to put everything on the line, but also play with that little bit of freedom to go and create. I mean, it's just incredible to watch. To see it live, you're just like, wow.
One of I think the things that really I do marvel at is this Luis Enrique. He's got very good players, top players, enjoying working hard. That's a hard thing to get, you know. It's a hard thing to get players that want to be mavericks, players that want to be the goal scorers and the match that define matches, to enjoy the other part of the game. We saw Doué on the other edge of his box, defending, winning the ball. We saw other players, attacking players. Dembele, second balls. He won second balls today. Probably about 4 or 5.
Rio, the one that sticks out in my mind was Doué. He actually chases Rashford back into the corner late on, and then he breaks away with the ball.
Yeah.
Before they subbed him up. But I just mean, like, those are the things that stick in my mind. A young player with that energy and desire to not only do something going forward but work defensively. It's incredible.
And you're going to get young players that are going to watch the clips and see the goals, right? I hope there's people out there clipping up the other side of the game for these young players to watch, as well as the great parts and the magic that we see today.
Yeah,
this is so important.
It is, isn't it? It's the game management and it's the desire to keep this team out, which they absolutely did, apart from in the opening stages. We can
find it out there.
Yeah, it's difficult. Obviously, they're a really good team, really well organised, got stars all over the pitch. It's difficult. We knew we were in a fight. We knew we had to defend well and battle, and overall we did. Probably just a bit of quality from them, and probably a bit maybe errors or maybe a little bit of something that happened that probably could have prevented for the goals. But that's football. That's what happens, and we've got another leg to try and turn it around. We're going to go for everything and try and win the tie, and ultimately we'll see where it takes us.
What's it like facing a team like this that just attack so much? It's wave after wave.
Yeah, it's difficult, of course. We know it was going to be difficult coming into it. We've watched their last few games and how deadly and how sharp they've been. I think they've put the world on notice to how good they are, but we didn't want to come here and just be spectators, and we wanted to take part and try and compete, and I thought we did that for large parts. I think, yeah, obviously the scoreline's not great, not in our favour, but listen, we've got another game and we're going to try and turn it around and try and win the game.
Your goal could still prove to be crucial across the two legs. Does that show that you will get opportunities?
Yeah, we've got quality in our dressing room. We know that as well. We're here for a reason. We're not just here to, as I said, to compete. We want to fight. We want to try and win, and we're trying to score goals. And normally, we've got enough quality in the room to cause any team in the world problems. And I think we did at times tonight. Probably like to a bit more, but now we're going back at home, and that's where we know our best form and kind of the way we play is better probably at home this season. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to it, and hopefully we can win.
Not many people gave Villa much of a chance coming here to the Parc des Princes, but in front of your home fans at Villa Park, how much belief have you got that you can still do it?
Yeah, loads of belief in the change room. We've got nothing to lose. No one had us to win the tie in the first place, so why not just go for it? And that's the mentality I have. That's the mentality everyone has, and the manager as well. So yeah, we just got to keep going for it and keep believing that we can do it and see where it takes us. But we've definitely got the quality to turn this around, so it's not done yet.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.
The way that PSG play, or should he have brought Marco Asensio on earlier? Should he have started with Watkins? What did you make of the decision overall?
Look, I think it's a hard position to play because you're up there on your own. It's always going to be very difficult. It's a huge job because you are tired, you are running about, you're working hard for the team, and when the ball comes up, it has to stick. You can't give it away. So he wasn't on it as much as I would like. I don't think there was much of a threat going forward in terms of could they get the ball in behind, but that's because they weren't allowed to get the ball in behind because they were just suffocated at times. So I think in the second leg it might work in his favour a little bit more. If PSG come to try and maybe kill the game off, you might get a little bit more space to operate.
I think they can be more direct. I still think when they win the ball, because they're so deep with the ball, Marcus, I think he can cheat a bit more. I'd let him cheat just a little bit more to be a threat once they get the ball. And then when you do get the ball, when you're deep, when you've been under pressure for a while, it's not about intricate football at that point. It's about hitting an area, a space that Marcus has his pace, or if it's Ollie Watkins in the next game, to move into. And that'll be interesting to see how they do that in this next game.
We've seen the Brighton goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking quickly, get it forward, run in behind, and let him use his pace. It doesn't always work, but I think you put that into the minds of the PSG players.
Yeah, well, this was a game between two master tacticians. Luis Enrique got the better. He didn't start the Champions League phase very well. He's managed to kind of galvanise this side. They don't deviate from the way they play. They do their thing, and they came back. You were here against Manchester City. They lost to Liverpool here and came back in the second leg and knocked out one of the favourites. The job that he is doing is not to be underestimated.
I think it's there's a confidence, there's an underlying confidence and a belief in this team that's instilled by the manager. That when they go behind, it's not about panicking. We believe the manager's kind of philosophy and his ideas, and we believe that it will come good if we continue to execute. And that is born out of great training. That's born out of a manager that they look up to and they trust, and who kind of manages with an authority that then you see transpire out onto the pitch. They're there, but they're a young team, and that's testament to this guy and the way he's coached his team.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them in the next few years. Never mind even right now, because they're so impressive, and I just feel from the experiences of the manager, and I think that they're all singing off the same hymn sheet at this moment in time with the fans. Everybody's buying into this. They're showing their best of their ability week in, week out. They've already wrapped up the league title as well. So they're all going in the right direction. So what they can do in the future, it's scary.
I don't know if I've been here and seen the connection as strong between the fans and the players. And that's testament to what he's done there and what the players are doing on a regular basis. But listen, we can't get too carried away. They've not won the Champions League yet. Yes, they're clean up, but they've done that every year. It's no surprise. But still, they've got a long way to go in the Champions League, but the signs are looking really, really positive.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they? One of the subplots actually to this match was that it was the first time that
Yes, the thing is, when you look at Paris Saint-Germain during the group stage, I think they were one of the best teams in terms of producing chances, which is a good indicator that you play football. And I remember a game against Atletico Madrid, but they battered them. And everybody the next day were, okay, we cannot score. Yeah, but we had 25 shots on target, off target. So it's just the matter of progressing as a team, progressing individually. I'm talking about the youngster. Look at Joe Neves, look at Doué. They kept confidence. When you have a young team, you cannot. There is a process. That's like that. You cannot give them a book and say, okay, we want to play like that, and the next day they will do it. No, it's habit, repetition every day. And there is a defining moment in a season. That was Man City. That was a couple of games who gave them confidence. And the fact that Ruud was saying that Dembele came back in the middle as well. There is some key change, and a coach, it's very important. Vitinha was playing high up on the pitch. He put it as a sitter, and he's one of the best sitters in Europe now. Dembele was on the right, he put it there. So, and the recruitment as well. I was talking with Mikel. We didn't know Pacho. He didn't know Pacho in Eintracht Frankfurt. He's fantastic. So there is a couple of things. It's very pleasant to see them. It's really important as well. When we were dominating the League One, when we had a 2-3-0, the team was stopping, making the effort. You see Paris Saint-Germain now in the League One, they play the last or they play the first. They will play until the last minute. 88 minutes, 89 minutes, sometimes you can see Riz having the pressing, everything. So that's changed their mind. There's no the League One factor, or physically it's not the same. You cannot imagine how it's like a game. And then you play like to train.
Because you want to mimic the game.
Exactly.
You can't not do anything in training and then do well in the games. It's not happening. So what you try to do, you try to create games that is feisty. You always like, sometimes even fights. Yeah. But that is part of the game. Now there's cameras everywhere, and if there is a fight, immediately goes out. You don't need that. In Milan, we had
competition for those places now as well within that Paris Saint-Germain team, which maybe before those front positions were all decided. It was Messi.
You're
Neymar,
right,
Mbappe.
Nikki.
Look what happened today with Doué coming in for Barcola. There's competition and training there.
But I will tell you about that. It's very interesting. Barcola, November, December, I think during 2 months, I forget, he didn't score. When the Kvaratskhelia came, all of a sudden, you woke up. Yeah, but it's very important. Yeah, competition. It's crazy. He didn't score for 2 months. Kvaratskhelia, he just felt the pressure here and say, okay, I have to wake up now. And then Doué as well. So they put all competition between each other. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Didier. I've never seen you move so fast as when PSG score or when I come in with a bar of chocolate to the studio.
You shine. Hey.
You cannot. I cannot control it. Okay, look at semi-final. If you go to final, you will see.
Oh, that's when we start bringing the studio.
No, Jekyll and Hyde. That's a two different Didi. When I watch Paris.
Well done to Paris Saint-Germain.